Howdy peeps, hope we're doing all well. So it sounds like we're having a bad day in Beirut. Well, it's actually like the 6th of November and everyone's got fireworks and they're all fucking about with that. And that's just the way that it is. So hopefully it won't be too obvious in the video, but I'm sure you will hear something in the background. You know, I remember a time, just before I get into the video. One of my mates, he used to collect prop set deactivated firearms, and one November he had the ump so much with fireworks and everything going on that he had like a revolver 6-shooter. He put 6 blanks in it, waited till the dead of night after the whole thing had sort of finished, gave it a good few hours. Bang, 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 bang. Like that. So, it's kind of one of them. And then there's the sort of other side of that, you know, it's not quite related, but it kind of is. Everyone's viewpoints of like fireworks and everything. Like, you got a lot of the ex-army vets and that, and they come out, and as soon as they're hearing explosions like this, you know, they're throwing themselves under cars, under tables, all sorts, you know. Potentially having flashbacks. If you see me do it, it's probably the same reason. No, I'm relatively good with that, to be fair. Anyhow, so in this video, I know I've covered dating quite a bit over the sort of years, but I'm just trying to go through what goes through my head, what it is that I think maybe you guys can see the same sort of thing, right? You get the same impression as what I've get. So two of the sort of main ones. Now, Tinder, I've never been a fan of Tinder really in the first place. I haven't met, but I've conversed with a few supposed, you know, again, assumptions, right? Because I'm so skeptical, a lot of the time I'm not really convinced that the users are as legit as what we'd like to think they are. You know, it's a business, right? So they're going to want to cast the line out with a little bit of bait and real suckers in to make money. That's what it all comes down to. So a lot of the time you do get asked to pay for the subscription fee, which usually lasts around a month. Well, you got a few options, and you can do 1 month, 6, 12, whatever. And obviously the longer you subscribe for, then the sort of cheaper it works out. But I mean, because I'm not really that much of a fan of it, I don't really think it's worth doing like more than a month anyway. It's like you got more luck in going down the local superstore and meeting someone than you have a lot of the time on these dating apps. So I mean, my first impressions, I mean, this chick, she's 24 years old. First photo that she presents herself with is she's got her face covered by an iPhone, so you can't even see what she looks like. You can see what she's wearing, and what she's wearing does look attractive and somewhat provocative, you could argue for that. Second picture again, she's got something covering her face again. Third picture in, same again. Fourth picture in, same again. Fifth picture, wearing a face mask and a cowboy hat kind of thing going on. So in all her photos, she's covered her face. Now, fortunately, she doesn't say a great deal. Well, looking at because on this still, I'm on the whole Tinder thing at the moment, so you can tell that she's into kink, right? And look, whatever floats people's boat is their business. I don't really care much. But again, it's just going to be that. It's not going to be a relationship, right? And I suppose this also depends why you go on these apps in the first place, what it is you're looking for. You know, but to be sort of presented with that, and this is literally, I've just logged in onto it, just so I can do this live, right? So the first thing I want to say is, like, well, not really that attractive, can't really see your face, you know, her body's not for me, right? So hard pass on that one. And then you get a lot of these other sort of photos, of other users, and you know, I mean, I get that my dress code can be somewhat intimidating sometimes to some people. Goes with the whole stereotypical thing, you know, leather jacket, motorbike, and all this sort of thing. So the people are going to get a stereotypical view of potentially what they think I'm going to be like, and I get it. You know, attraction isn't an option. You're attracted to them or you're not. The second user, the first thing I'm going to say is like the haircut for me is just a no. You know, it's got them fringe things going on, and I ain't a fan of fringes. And just no. And plus, the other thing with that is that chick I've obviously just swiped left, right? Just want to point that one out. Didn't even have to read the bio a lot of the time, and this is how I suppose superficial dating has become now. Whereas and I get it, it is a catch-22, because there's me saying, oh well, people are going to stereotype me because motorcycle stuff that you wear, and you know, it's not just limited to that, right? I mean, I could go ahead and put suit on or wear different type of clothing, but that's not being true to myself. And if I can't be true to myself, what chance have you got of being true to anyone else, right? It's just a massive facade, in my opinion. Then you get the typical. I'd say this girl's a bit of a party girl. I'll go with saying that she's what's the terminology? She's big, right? She's bigger than me, right? And I'm not necessarily that big anyway, so. But again, a lot of the time, a lot of these profiles on Tinder, they're in it for the Instagram followers and all of this, or you know, or whatever. So, I mean, it kind of blows their own ship out the water, doesn't it? You know, if there's guys looking for relationships, look, they're going to find lots of fuckboys. They always do, right? This one, pretty though she is, she's got one of them silly little handbag dogs. I'm not apologetic about that. This is a sort of other thing, and this is my mindset on a lot of these women that have these small little handbag dogs. Again, stereotypical view is they need something to, or someone, I'll say something in the terms of the dog, to mother and to control. Now, I've seen that in quite a few women that have small dogs. It's all about having control over something that is that much smaller, but they can use the cuteness approach as, oh yeah, but isn't it cute? It's like, it's not there to be cute, right? I mean, this is why if I was to have a dog, it's going to be a proper dog, it's going to be a big dog, and it's going to do what dogs are meant to do other than bark. You know, not look good. You know, well, it'll probably look, it would, hypothetically speaking, look good, right? I'll probably go for like not that I can really afford to feed a Rottweiler or something like that. Going on the amount they eat, it'd eat me out of house and home. Just saying. then again, so could some women. But you know, and look, that's not necessarily a dig at size or anything like that. Some people can eat quite a lot, and then they're just, you know, I'm just sort of saying. But with that, women and small dogs for me are a no-go. It just kind of implies that they have to have some sort of control, or it's an attention thing because, oh, isn't it cute? Isn't he cute? She cute? Whatever. It's just like, no, I ain't got time for that. You know, you know, with the greatest of respect to dog owners, I can't be dealing with people that are like that. It's just no. And you know, it does also fall into that category of the potential for a narcissistic personality of some description. And I know these things keep cropping up, but they are related, you know. Right, okay, so the third picture in, we're still on Tinder. Well, then you get this, she's in some, this chick, she's quite nice looking, she's quite slim. She's in like a florist, but again, just looking for someone who can do coffee and movie together when I don't need to monitor the stock market. No investment, selling because I can take care of my own, frequent flyer. So again, you know, you're not even looking at relationship material there. Despite how, you know, attractive she does look, you could also argue for very high maintenance, you know, which, not being funny, most guys don't want to deal with high maintenance women. You know, it's just a whole bag of problems that you don't want or need. Yeah, and like I say, I mean, for the most part, Tinder, as far as I'm concerned, seems to be mostly inundated with the potential for chicks that constantly need some form of validation. They're constantly going to need attention, and I can't see it ending in anything positive. But that's Tinder, and that is just my opinion of Tinder. So with that, and again, it's the other sort of side you're looking at all that is people's responding to messages, and a lot of the time it's not a thing, and I get that. You know, for every, I mean, what you could send, what I've said this before, like 300 messages, and you might get through might get 30 responses. I suppose it depends how attractive you are in the first place, whether they're legitimate users, and all of that. Then we'll go on to another one. That's going to be Match, because that's always good for a laugh, isn't it? And it does seem to be the difference in clientele. I think with Match, it might be taken a little bit more seriously. But still, I mean, let's go and see what, I mean, the amount of bios that haven't been completed, and it's just like, they've just got pictures of themselves, you know, and it's like, well, what are you even in it for? Is it for your own validation, to make yourself feel good, to see how many guys like you? You know, and it's just not, I don't think a lot of them are quite as genuine. Like I say, it comes down to casting that line with a bit of bait on it to keep the guys reeled in, keep them coming back, and in that way it helps keep companies like Tinder and Match afloat, because, you know, the guys that are more desperate and more, I suppose, maybe needy, or that they actually want a relationship, and they're trying to be as proactive as possible as they can be, given what the dating scene is like anyway. You know, we've had lockdowns. It's 2021, man. We've had lockdowns. It's like a lot of people are quite opinionated regarding whether they're vaxxed, whether they're unvaxxed, and, you know, their viewpoints on all of that, which I get it, that they're all entitled to do, and it really shouldn't be that much of a problem. But I think people have become more, I suppose, cutthroat in that sense, and whereas they wouldn't even entertain the idea. Now, the other sort of side of all this, and I will bring up the whole post-war argument, and it does come down to that thing of guys a lot of the time can date, have the opportunity, should I say, to date women that are younger than them, rather than going for their own age group. There's a reason for that, and it does come down to attraction. It's just nature being nature. It's not anything else. But that being said, attraction isn't an option either. It is what it is. You know, you either like someone for who they are and what they look like, or you don't. You know. Right. So this young lady, she's 31, and she says, so about me in a nutshell. Currently living in a village near Salisbury, working as an activity coordinator and also run an online shop. Have a dog, slightly crazy Jackapoo. What was I saying about dogs? Love music and going to gigs, play violin in 2 orchestras, enjoy exploring new places and trying new things, prefer the countryside to the city, love cosy nights in with a home-cooked meal and film, looking to find a partner and the best mate. So let's see, I mean, realistically, sorry, I didn't even look to see whether she wanted kids or not. So she wants kids. Now, I've spoken to quite a few, because, you know, kids is a thing that does sort of come up quite regularly in conversation when it comes down to dating. And I was speaking to one of the girls that I used to sort of knock about with years ago, and she was saying, because she got pregnant quite later on in life. I think she was late 20s, I think, or early 30s. And she was considered to be, what was it? I can't remember the exact word that they used, but a senior parent, I think it was, or something like that. It's like, oof, that's a bit much, in it. But again, it does also come down to, you know, like nature being nature. You know, as women get older, the fertility rate drops, and the looks can go with it in some cases. You know, it's just nature being nature. But like I say, with guys, we're at I suppose an advantage point in that one. Whereas, you know, providing you haven't been divorced too many times and you haven't lost a whole ton of cash, and you know you've still got that vibe in you of, oh yeah, let's go out dating, and you know, blindly just date whoever for the sake of having someone in your life, which will end up in disaster. I can tell that from first-hand experience. But yeah, you know, sort of long, tall and short of it is, if you're in that mindset of you want kids, then you're going to be going for a younger model anyway. You know, it's just kind of is what it is. But again, you know, sort of with that, it's interesting, the whole sort of dating game. And you know, like I said, a lot of the time on these dating apps, I think maybe it's a case of if you're not the Chad and you're not the Tyrone, or you know, if you're not that sharp looking of what they want, then you know you're not really going to get much of a look in anyway, and that is assuming that you're not being knocked down by an algorithm, which I do sort of question these things. Like I said, well, I've been on Match.com in the past, and I've put profiles up, and they've actually taken my profile down because I wrote things in there like not being a fan of feminism and stuff like that. Like, not saying anything horrible, just like, no, I'm just not a fan of it. It's like, you know, whatever. You need not apply if you believe in like the whatever, what is it they call themselves? Whatever they call themselves, can't remember, don't really care. Intersectional, there we go, intersectional, yeah, that one. Yeah. The TERFs, I think, a lot of the time, as they're refers to. And if you wonder what TERF is, it's a trans-exclusionary radical feminist. So you're not so diverse and inclusive then, are you? I'm just saying. But yeah, it's amazing how non-inclusive, you know, these groups can be sometimes. But I guess it kind of is what it is. I suppose at least they're not subtle about it. I suppose that's showing some form of self-respect and dignity. But yeah, so you know, dating in 2021, when I mean I do, like I said before, I do consider Tinder to be the bottom of the barrel. You know, I don't think is necessarily going to end well in that sort of choice from that sort of a website, but that's just me. So yeah. And I suppose that is what makes dating that much more difficult, I suppose, in 2021. You know, you've got all these things to bear in mind, and that's not including any lessons you might have learnt along the way with regards to family courts and getting divorce raped and all of that, you know. Anywho, that's all I've got for this one. Just wanted to be apparently it's not a short and sweet one, but here we are. Thoughts, comments and opinions, feel free to jot them down. Till the next one, stay cool, stay free, peace out.